morning, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is David Okon. I am this morning, talking about YouTube and looking at the techniques, the facility, everything YouTube is all about. Creativity, information, news, you name it, you find it. If you are a technician, adventurer, a creative person, you like food, you like cooking, you find the same. You like nature, you like sport, you like culture, color, and every sort of creativity. YouTube is for you. Thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Click like, notification bell, share with family and friends. Leave me a comment. Thank you so much. And then you're talking about a voice. YouTube giving a voice to everyone. Sit in your home, being taken around the world, around the globe, giving you a voice, being listened to, telling a story, sharing your story, producing videos. What YouTube does, what it is all about, with the blogging, how YouTube works. If you work there, you have a job, looking at things like press, culture and trending, YouTube products for kids, music, original products, podcasts, premium, YouTube Select, Studio, and YouTube for business developers are advertising, YouTube for creators, research, services and directory, artists, creators, their commitments to their users, their content creators, creators for change, and making social impact, and many more. What YouTube does, in effect, managing, for example, ample content, standing up to 8. Managing ample content and how they do that. We have been here before. Thank you so much. Fighting misinformation. Curbing extremist content. Supporting political integrity, partnering and with researchers, preventing bias, youth principles, fostering youth safety, protecting data, user data, safeguarding copyright, sharing revenue, promoting digital well-being, responsible artificial intelligence. We have been looking at managing ample content previously. We'll go through it quickly. The way YouTube manage ample contents. YouTube is an open platform where anyone can upload a video and share such a video with the world. There is the openness coming with YouTube, and there's also the opportunity, which is actually incredibly available. There are also challenges. There is a balancing act at work. While there is a scope for creative expression, it comes also with a responsibility to protect the community from harmful content Leave a comment below what you think about the platform of YouTubing, the filtering, the exquisiteness, the approach of the 4 hours, removal, involving violating content being removed as quickly as possible. As always, and also reducing the spread of harmful misinformation. So there's a difference between removal and reduction. Reduction is the lesser of the response by YouTube. Removal is a more stringent approach to offending. So it can be removed or can be reduced as to content which may be actually violating, or content which may produces a sufficient risk to cause concerns with YouTube infrastructure. With the YouTube infrastructure. And so there is also the raising up of authoritative resources. The authoritative resources are being supported for purposes of producing news and information, and rewarding also trusted, eligible creators and artists. Stay tuned, continue watching. This is how YouTube functions in its commitment to producing an effective working platform. So YouTube removing harmful content, and the way they do it by, if you look at the community guideline and the YouTube infrastructure, and the people working there taking a responsibility. We start with the community guideline resources, these policies are designed to ensure the community stays protected. So it's all about protection. Removal is about protection, and also it also produces a facility to tell us what is allowed and what is not allowed on YouTube. And there are also different contents on the platform, including videos, comments, links, and thumbnails. These are content which might be in a state where they violate the rules. It's all about rules. You're looking at also policies covering areas such as hate crime, harassment, child safety, violent extremists, among other things. So you can look at these variants or variables, so to speak. So these policies are developed in partnership with a wide range of external industry and policy experts, as well as YouTube creators. Leave a comment below if you know who YouTube creators are, and let us know who they are. They are the people who create YouTube. As simple as that. They create YouTube, and they systematically review policies to make sure that everybody it is up to date, it is current. So there is a procurement of a platform of policy and practices which is up to date. So talk about updates on hate crime harassment policies, such as found in the 2019 rules, rolling out of the rolling out of the 2020 policy to address harmful conspiracy theory content. Talk about conspiracy theory. Leave a comment below if you know what conspiracy theory is, and such a content being worked on the COVID-19 medical misinformation policy. You talk about misinformation concerns which has evolved through the course of the pandemic. If you remember the period of pandemic, now there is therefore a removal approaches as to content violating policies, and this is done as quickly as possible, and also using the combination of people and machine learning to detect potentially problematic content on a massive scale. So you talk about industry, you talk a bit about a process which is really huge, and this is the overview, which is a food for thought for those who actually use YouTube as those who are visiting to look for content, or content creators, artists, and all the other individuals or group. And therefore, these are actually taken into account. In addition, YouTube also rely on the YouTube community as well as experts of their trusted flagger program. Talk about trusted flagger program. I'll leave a comment below if you know what trusted flagger programs are to help spot potentially problematic content by reporting it directly to YouTube. And if have you ever reported the content directly to YouTube, then you are a factor in the policy procurement, implementation, and also compliance. They also are going to great lengths to make sure that content which violates the policy are widely viewed, are not widely viewed. So you are prevented, if you are a content creator, for example, from your content being viewed if there is a problem with such content. So for content creators in particular, it is very important to pay attention to policies and the compliance thereat. So they also go to length to make sure that these policy violators, content violating policies aren't widely viewed or even viewed at all. Sometimes you post a video and it is not viewed at all, and if you are a content creator and you post a video and your video is not actually viewed at all, you know how bad it is. It means you're not going to move at all, and also it can then eventually it will be removed, but they act before even it is removed to make sure potentially or actually or violating content are not viewed or are not widely viewed or are not viewed at all, and eventually it is removed. And there are also automated flagging systems helping to detect and review content even before it is seen by the community. So there are preempting systems which actually operate to prevent certain content from being even seen at all by the community. These are some of the risks posed by YouTube, and in my opinion, resources permitting, there is a potential that a lot of people will fall foul of these rules going forward, and there is also a question as to how much of freedom you can enjoy with the coming of this platform, which is, in my opinion, a very fantastic provide a fantastic opportunity of accessing and also of operating. Therefore, such content is identified. Human content reviewers evaluate whether it violates the policy. If it does, then it is removed. The content is removed, and it is used to train machines for better coverage in the future. And the content reviewers also protect that content, protect content that has a clear educational, documentary, scientific, or artistic purposes. That it's so if you want to be loved and preferred on this platform. Do your best to be educational in your material. You have to be clear, and YouTube should also acknowledge that your material, your content is educational, it's a documentary, which means documentary means a formal material which is factually based. Its evidence is well researched, is authoritative, and also scientific, which is, you know what science is. Science is science. And also these are formal material which are respected, not just on YouTube but around in every media system, whether it is in articles or books or even on any of the main media outlets. So you talked of artistry. If you are a musician, if you are a painter, music and painting speaks volume. But also if you are a writer, because writing is also a work of art. If you are a novelist, for example, and your purpose is to achieve such. But to say is one thing, but to achieve in practice another. Comment below what you think. This is removal policy, which is the strictest of all, with the strongest of consequences. If you are a user or a participant on the platform, and I'm not clear how they will operate to actually implement this policy to manage people who are users. I don't know how they do that, but it appears to me this actually impact the most on content creators, but also on other users, participants. Let's talk about reduction following removal. Remember the 4R to raise authoritative sources and also reward trusted content creators. We are looking at reduction policy, which are there to reduce the spread of harmful misinformation and borderline content. And in so implementing a reductive policy, YouTube aims to reduce, not really removal, but reducing the spread of harmful misinformation and borderline content. If your content is on borderline, you mean it doesn't offend per se, but it is smelling of a rat in relation to your content. Therefore, they also perform a reductive policy on site. So the community guidelines set out rules of the road for content on YouTube. There will always be content that brushes up against the policies of YouTube. It doesn't really actually offend it necessarily, but it is borderline. It brushes up against the policies of YouTube, and it doesn't quite cross the line. Crossing the line or not crossing the line means you're not really offending directly, but still even that will affect if you don't, but your content appears so close to the borderline that you haven't crossed, the line. Then you are suffering by way of reduction policy being applied on your content. So this borderline content present, according to YouTube, 1% of what is watched on YouTube. So there are not very many in the scheme of things, but still YouTube applying its proper or otherwise stringent normally make sure these are dealt with, so that say even the fraction of a percentage is too much, so they say. So that goes to show how strict they are, and that is a problem. Because in practice, such rules are ticking time bombs when it is actually implemented in its all or in the spirit and also in the letter of such rules. It will be a major issue for smaller YouTubers, in particular people who are small, without money, without consultancy access. It's going to be really difficult. Therefore, so they say in 2019 they announced changes to how they recommend they announced changes to recommendation systems to reduce the spread of borderline content, resulting in a 70% drop in watch time on non-subscribe. If you don't, if such contents are watched by people who haven't subscribed, there are a drop of 70%. That is significant for borderline content. And when the change the system of recommendation, and if YouTube recommends your video, they are actually more successful, significantly successful. But they are changing the system. We have achieved in 2019. The changes were announced to reduce the spread of borderline content, and this resulted in a 70% drop in watch time. So your watch time is reduced substantially on non-subscribe recommended content in the US that year. So that is talk about the United States of America. And these are some of the statistics they are talking about. And leave a comment below if you have done research, or it doesn't matter how small it is. Stay tuned, continue watching. Good morning, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Dave. So we'll talk about reduction, and we'll talk about YouTube, improving or changing the way they do recommendations to content, and also the impact of these changes in 2019 and in the United States are impacted contents which are deemed borderline. We talk about borderline. We talk about reduction. Policy of reduction in terms of YouTube commitment in their policy, in terms of discipline, carrot and stick system. If you do well, you get the carrot, which means you will benefit from the platform. But if you do wrong, you actually suffer with a stick, which means you are punished. So let us continue to go through this material. I endeavor to look through it and explaining it in the process. It's not easy because I'm not an expert in it, but it's good for me because it's teaching me also to know, because I'm a content creator. So I'm in a good place looking at this, sharing with these materials with viewers. And leave a comment below. So if you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, subscribe. By way of reminder, subscription is extremely important to supporting content creators like myself, and it is free. So if you have time to watch the video, and we are a small channel, therefore it's important that from time to time I remind viewers that every time you watch, make sure you subscribe. Subscription is absolutely free. If you think it is paid for, leave a comment below, and then we can talk about that. There's nothing to talk about it because actually you don't pay for it, and you should not confuse subscription with membership. These are two different things. If you subscribe because you like the content, because you like maybe something about the channel, and you are willing to support it in that spirit. You want to be associated with this channel. But also, if you are a member, it means you are more committed than somebody who have just got subscribed. Subscription is good. It actually support YouTube to recommend my videos, and also liking is also good for recommendation. If you are the more recommended the more viewed the faster I actually grow, the better. And so do your best and do what you feel good doing. And if you like the content, definitely click like, and also click the notification bell to make sure you don't miss out on this content, this amazing content. It may not be straightforward, but once you get used to it. And also leave a comment, let me know, because I want this material to be supportive. I want it to be educational as much as possible. If you can learn something from it, if you are into YouTubing, and so to speak, I would like also to say YouTube is trending. It is growing very fast, and sooner or later, in the next 5 to 10 years, almost everyone in terms of media accessing will be on YouTube. And talk about people who are extraordinary in society, people in power, people in politics, political leadership, like head of states, government ministers, members of parliaments, big businesses, but also ordinary people from the grassroots, people like you and I, people who could be maybe content creators. Still extremely expensive for ordinary people to do a video. And if you fall foul of policies such as of removal or reduction, then you are in serious trouble. So the also experienced drop of watch time for borderline content coming from recommendation in other markets. So let's talk about other markets, probably in other countries. As of March 2021, they rolled out changes to their recommendation system to reduce borderline content in every market where they operate. So there was an expansion of the system of recommendation, which means they are stricter. They became stricter as late as 2021 in March, and so they are now in every market, meaning every region of the world is global now, it's everywhere. So wherever you are now, you are most likely being caught, because see, the rejection of your content can be really expressed very effectively by refusing to recommend your policy, your content, thereby reducing your content impact or its capacitation, its credence. I mean, if you are not reviewed, then the strength of your content will be reduced, and that is what we are trying to talk about. And so I'm privileged to discuss this situation, and therefore they are also committed to continuing their reductive work by to reduce recommendation of borderline content. It's continuing to happen. We talk about algorithm changes taking time to ramp up, and therefore you might see consumption of borderline content go up and down, and sometimes your channel seem to be growing and suddenly it kind of like plummet. So you talk about algorithm. These are automated system of monitoring of configuring, if that is the right expression. I'll leave a comment below. And then this happens, then the usership of your content will reduce, and it's to borderline content. And this is reduction. Every time you hear about reduction, you know, borderline content, you're not really offending, but you're being. YouTube is suspicious of content creators operating at borderline, so they are punished preemptively. So it goes to show how strict this infrastructure, this community, this system has become. If you talk about 2021, so going forward, there is going to be more restriction in accessing the system. So you talk about statistics, and their goals to keep views of non-subscribed recommended borderline content below 0.5%. I don't know non-subscribed content. It looks like, I think content viewed by users who are not necessarily subscribed to your YouTube channel, and because normally a lot more people who just come in and out to look for one thing or another, they're the ones who tend to watch a lot, incidentally. But people who get committed also watch, but they are really keeping an eye on people who are just walking about. So you talk about reduction, we can talk about raising authoritative content, and we talk about content. We'll talk about authoritativeness in terms of this content, and we talk about having a lot of signals such as relevance and popularity. If your content is construed as being authoritative and also showing relevance and popularity, that matter in determining which videos you typically see in YouTube search and recommendation. So otherwise you suffer the lack of preponderance in terms of viewership, as they say. You suffer lack of recommendation. So when it comes to topics such as news, politics, medical and scientific information, we know that there is no substitute for authoritativeness. So again, we are looking at materials such as news, politics, medical information, contenting, and also scientific information, and then they know there is no substitute for authoritativeness. So that is almost by default considered to be an authoritative material, which is a safe place to be if you're a news producer, if you are a political material producer, if you are medical material, because these are actually professional sources. You don't write politics if you are not really knowledgeable about politics, because you cannot see something about politics to be regarded as political or politics without evidence, without backing up what you say. I am trying to understand what they talk about. That, I think that's what they talk about here. They say there is no substitute for authoritativeness. This is a typical material where it actually carries weight in terms of looking for authoritative material, authoritative resource material, authoritative source material. So leave a comment below. Let me know what you think in terms of producing, raising authoritative content, and which are actually, by automation is more favored than materials which otherwise are not considered authoritative, and these are supported by YouTube more than other ordinary content. This is revealing, is actually produce a very useful insight into how YouTube typically work in a more structured way, and my hope is that in undertaking this exercise, it is the beginning of structuring also our understanding and also supporting our approaches as to our YouTube page, if you are actually a user, if you are a content creator, or just a participant one way or another. So, and so the now introduce a range of features to tackle this challenge holistically. So we talk about raising authoritative so in search of raising authoritative content, YouTube use search results and recommended videos. These are actually implemented looking at search results and recommended videos. These therefore raise authoritative voices for newsworthy events and topics prone to misinformation. If topics are prone misinformation, the authoritative sources are actually promoted to counter or even to neutralize that, which is something understandable. We also have dedicated product features such as the breaking news shelf. And we talk about news then, therefore. And breaking news is something really current. These are structures YouTube support, and top news shelf, which features relevant videos from authoritative news sources. So authoritative materials are really important in this subtopic. So the context is critical when evaluating information. So YouTube provides information panels that features text-based information alongside certain site results and videos to help you make your own mind, your own decision about the content that you find on YouTube. So these are some of the things. So let us look at rewarding content creators, trusted creators and artists, how they are rewarded and also how they are accepted into the YouTube partnership program YPP, which is a major milestone in any creator's journey. As part of YPP, creators can start monetizing their content, as well as gaining access to dedicated support and benefits. There are actually situations of benefit and receiving dedicated support. So, so they have now taken a step to strengthen the requirements for monetization, so that spammers, impersonators, and other offenders cannot hurt the ecosystem or take advantage of creators who put their time, energy, and passion into producing high-quality content. So here, there is also reform, this strengthening of the requirements. So, in other words, in practice, making it harder for people who may not be worthy to really access. So there's now a filtering. In the future, not everybody are going to benefit from being YouTubers. That's what they are saying. Going forward, they're trying to filter out now to make sure people who are probably professional, people who highly qualified, you know, a certain class of people are the ones who will be accessing. So now everybody is being taken in, and the standard is being raised. The requirement being strengthened. They say, you know, they are taking steps to strengthen the requirements for monetization, so that they talk about spammers. Spammers are people who just you know, people who post any quality of video. It doesn't matter when it is. I mean, according to YouTube, so there are content which shouldn't be on YouTube. They are they are low quality. If you're not highly educated, if you're not a professional producer of I mean, if you are a low class, if you are an ordinary person, you're not going to access YouTube, because as of now, anybody, literally anyone, can be monetized, because YouTube is allowing everyone, literally everyone, to access YouTube. But going forward, only a few will be selected, people who are now highly qualified, people from a certain background, from the upper class, people who are highly educated, elites. If you are an elite, if you are professionally trained, maybe journalist or a producer of content. So we are going back to square one with the YouTube, with social media. This YouTube in the future is going to be, highly trained, maybe journalists, politicians, high-level people or from the higher level of society. Right now, people who are working class, people who are maybe middle class, poor people are able to access YouTube and make money. In the future, only, let's say, rich people will be the ones. Big organizations, people who are highly trained as journalists, as politicians, as commentators, researchers, news producers, in the same way that, so ordinary people will be out of YouTube. That's what they're saying by reward system, how they're changing it. They're talking about high quality content. Because ordinary people cannot produce high quality content. I have seen it. I have had to learn a thing or two on the job. So if you are now just a normal person who probably knows nothing about content creation anyway, YouTube is good for you to train yourself quickly. And people who work hard to learn how to create content may remain. But if you don't take this opportunity now, where YouTube is taking anybody almost to produce content, there is coming a time when YouTube is not going to allow everybody to put content in for purposes. Your channel will not be monetized unless you are of a certain grade, unless you are of a certain class. You have to speak proper English or proper, I don't know what other language, maybe French. You have to speak maybe proper Spanish. But English is going to be very important, in my opinion. Not just English, you have to be a highly trained professional. Like now, it happens with the main media, because main media is only accessible to a certain class of people, the upper class, people who are from a rich background, people who are from privileged background, people with money, people who are elites of society, a few. So there will be a streamlining of content creators, people who can create. Access to create content will be a few individuals, not everybody. I mean, I predict maybe in 10 years there will be only 5% of the population being able to create content and to be monetized. So if enjoy YouTube now, if you are monetized now, do your best to train yourself to be maybe a journalist, maybe train yourself to be an expert in a field. Take that opportunity now, so that you are not excluded. Because a lot of people now being content creators are going to be removed. If you stay, you will stay, but you will never be monetized, because the standards keep going up. The standard for monetization is going to go up. And a lot of people, 90% will follow, because the cost is unsustainable. Already, it is almost impossible to be monetized. The requirement is so strict. It's getting stricter. So when you talk of do you want to get rid of spammers? I mean, like you are a corrupt person, you are almost treated like a thief. Impersonators, people who are actually not really worthy, offenders and other offenders, so that the ecosystem is not hurt. There should be a cleaning up. People who are not worthy, you are not really fit to be on the YouTube, should be removed. It's like taking out the rubbish from the system. So you take advantage of creators who put their time, energy, but it's more than time really, because you can put your time as much as you like. But if you talk about quality and not quantity, a lot of people actually create a lot. They work so hard, but they don't have the skill. They are not experienced. they are learning on the job, and it doesn't matter how hard they work, they are not going to be monetized. That is the future of this platform. So you smell a rat if you see this kind of information. So you people be really prepared. If you have time, do yourself, train yourself to remain on this platform, train yourself to become a professional, a media person, like a content creator who is an expert. Only expert will be allowed, and people with high level, high standard of competence, which do not really come from ordinary people. These are people who are extraordinary, who are privileged normally, because the cost of learning to be an expert is unaffordable by the rest of the population. Stay tuned and continue watching. So we are still continuing with reward system, and therefore, so over the last few years, they have taken steps to strengthen the requirements for monetization, so that spammers, impersonators of people who pretend to be one person but they are not. They are not. They can manipulate the system and say they are one thing, or they are producing one thing, but they maybe steal program from somebody and pretend to be somebody, and also other vendors. They cannot hurt the ecosystem. So they want to keep it clean, which is a good thing, and but there are also prices to pay, because they are look about high quality content, and so that or take advantage of creators who have put their time. So if YouTube think you have been working so hard, you have put a lot of energy, you put time, and you put your passion in producing high quality content, you should be protected from people who are thugs, who are thieves, actually, people who are not really, they are not using strong words, but you are just corrupt, and you're trying to reap from where you have not sown. You are somebody who is a very creepy person, a spammer, impersonator, and other offenders. Offenders are actually people who are evil, evil people who offend the decency of existence. Like criminals, almost behaving like criminals, and you're hurting the ecosystem and taking advantage of creators. I mean, they're stealing from other people without really any sense of care. These are the way YouTube is, trying to clean up the system. Remove people who are not worthy to be content creators. And you talk about high content creation. High content creation is not just hard work, but you have to have the training, the requisite training. How you're going to train yourself is your business. But I would argue that if it comes to training, you need to have money, you need to have time and resources. And I don't know how some people are going to do that. But if, like I said already, that if you are now a YouTuber, whether you are monetized or not, if you want to a future on in YouTube, do your hard work, learn, actually be a student. A lot of people really, to be fair, a lot of people on YouTube wants to be monetized tomorrow. which is a good thing because you make your money. But according to this information, their reward policy, things are changing. Things will be changing very quickly. In the next 5 years, probably some people who are monetized may also be demonetized because YouTube may decide their work is not high quality. Because if you talk about high quality, you talk about highly trained individuals. Now, if you are from the village, maybe in Africa or part of Europe, especially in Africa, Africa may not even participate on YouTube because they are so poor. A lot now there is a mushrooming in Africa of YouTubing or content creators. They are making also money. Maybe they're not making much money that they are making money, but they are probably forgetting that they have to use this opportunity to learn what it means to produce high quality content. So they have to really do a detailed study. They are like information like this. This is the starting point, so that you are aware the mindset or even approaches involving YouTubing by the YouTube authorities and the owners of YouTube. This is really important. Leave a comment below if you think what I'm talking about is important. If you think it is not well and good, let me know also. So what you need to really remember about monetization is in the future is high quality is going to be critical. And high quality can only come by training and high level experience. High level performance produced by experience and high level knowledge. Everything is going to be high level to produce high quality content. These are the ones who will be selected, maybe only 10 or 20% of the population, or maybe 80% of content creators now will be excluded. That is what I think. If you think I'm interpreting this information wrongly, leave a comment below and let me know what you're thinking. Stay tuned, continue watching, and I think this information is really important. A lot of people use YouTube, especially content creators. This is element of management of YouTube in relation to their commitment to the community system, the policy, compliance, and all that. This aspect actually relates specifically to content creators. So in terms of reward policy, if you're a content creator, do your best to really master it, to understand exactly what they're talking about, to apply for membership in YPP. Channels must meet eligibility thresholds related to watch time and subscribers. This is now what is happening, but this is also an upgrade, because in the past people who are used to be monetized are not really monetization. They used to be paid. Even if they are not monetized, they are just being paid, but the rules have now changed as expected. And this is an explanation. So to apply for membership in YPP, channels must meet eligibility threshold. And talk about eligibility threshold related to watch time and subscribers. So there is a specific eligibility. In practice, at the moment you need to have 4,000 subscribers. That's the basic, but there are other elements of requirement for other aspects of membership. But the main one is actually you need 1,000 watch time, but it could be also certain another figure for another category of eligibility threshold. So you in broad terms, you're looking at watch time and subscribers. Subscribers, you need 1,000. Sometimes we need 5,500 also for certain types of eligibility threshold, and also maybe you need maybe 3,000 watch hours. Then you get a certain kind of eligibility, accessibility, so to speak. These are some of the things you pay attention to. So after you have applied YouTube review, team ensure that on the channels which meet eligibility threshold and follow all the guidelines admitted to the program which makes them eligible to receive access to ads and other monetization products. So, as we said, talk about eligibility, meeting this eligibility, and also doing a review to ensure all the channels which meet eligibility threshold who follow all the guidelines, so are actually considered. So going forward, these thresholds will be raised. In my predictability, in my predicting, the threshold is likely to be raised. Every time the threshold is raised, less people access are qualified within the eligibility requirements, I would say. So the admission to the program will reduce, the few will access, the many will be excluded as such. So that's what I really think is going to happen in terms of reward policy. So the advertisers typically do not want to be associated with controversial or sensitive content on YouTube, so to speak. It's defined in our advertiser-friendly content guidelines. We talk about advertiser-friendly and also advertiser-friendly content and also guidelines. Advertiser friendliness is extremely important if you're a content creator, because advertisers typically do not want to be associated with controversial or sensitive content. Leave a comment below, let me know what if a content is sensitive. I don't know what a sensitive content is looking like, but you can almost always guess to know, because it is not clearly defined. But you get to know one way or the other if a topic becomes sensitive. If a topic is controversial may mean something which actually creates antagonism, which antagonism may even be a word which needs defining. So controversy, if you're always gossiping about something negative, let's say about negativity, because I hear content creators talk a lot about negativity. Negativity is most likely to be controversial, can also be sensitive. Somebody did something to someone and it's negative. Somebody is doing something. You get involved in a controversy, in something which is negative. So maybe the word negativity can be more accessible to many people who are now content creators, who are actually participating on YouTube in one way or the other. So controversy, if you can master what controversy means and sensitivity of issues, of topics, of subjects, learn that, then you relate it to your content. If your content is producing controversy, maybe you walk almost naked, that is something sensitive. It can also be controversial because nudity is not allowed. You push the boundary, your borderline, maybe you are offending by showing your nakedness or swear words or certain things which are really, I wouldn't want to mention them here, but you know if something is really sensitive. Maybe illegality, you're breaking the law, maybe you're accusing somebody falsely, something like defamation. You're saying somebody is a wizard or a witch. That is controversial. It's also sensitive. You say, you don't like blind people, you don't like people who have wings, people with certain color of skin. That is controversial, that is sensitive, that is outright wrong. You will be violating a lot of rules. You could be really, maybe something even less than that. Maybe saying you don't like black people, you don't like white people, which is a type of hate crime or hatred. Or think of something controversial, then avoid it. So you talk about if a creator has turned on ads monetization for a video about reviewers, and automated system determine that the video does not comply with our advertiser friendly content guidelines. The video will have limited or no ad appearing against it, which means that they won't be able to make money on that video. So that is the answer now. So that is the consequences. You lose money, so if you can turn on, if you're a creator, you can turn on ads monetization. So that ads monetization means your ads are actually available for monetizing, so that you get money for your video. But the reviewers, people who look at your material for compliance or authenticity, reviewers an automated system. Automated system is machine kind of like support, which is inbuilt in the system. Maybe, I don't know, I think also sooner or later, if not already, artificial intelligence may start playing a role. So talk about automation. Automated system determining that the video does not comply with the advertiser-friendly content guidelines. You talk about guidelines. These are rules. Advertiser-friendly is something which is not controversial, something which is not sensitive. So I don't know really what they are, but only time will tell if you are involved in sensitive content creation. You make less money, and you are by way of policy, you're discriminated against by way of policy. So I don't know if you can challenge them in the court, because they are, this is a type of policy discrimination. What I'm saying now is already sensitive, can be controversial also. So when I say YouTube is practicing a form of discrimination, because you are you haven't broken the rule, but you are actually subjectively being judged, and you're discriminated against in terms of not being supported for benefits which you should otherwise deserve. So if you are powerful, maybe you can sue YouTube for breaking the law, because you are not supposed to discriminate against people. You haven't done anything wrong. You are just trying to exercise your rule, and then because you are not advertiser friendly content guidelines. But I haven't seen the guidelines, so I wouldn't really say that it is. I wouldn't say YouTube is being discriminatory. But I have to really see it. Even if I see it, it's not for me to really say, unless I'm sure they are being discriminated in terms of producing a form of illegality. But a lawyer, a media lawyer, or equality lawyer, or some type of lawyer would be in a position to determine whether you can sue YouTube or not. But you see, the situation is such that if you cannot access the law because you have no money, then you should not waste your time talking about the law, unless you can go. You need to do a research, like a bulldozer, and become a lawyer yourself, a media lawyer, perhaps also maybe. I don't know what kind of law this you talk about discrimination, that should be a statutorily based obligation on YouTube, because advertiser friendly content. What does the guideline say? The guideline is just to support content creators to be wise, to avoid controversy, to avoid sensitivity, which is what I recommend for you to do. Read the guidelines, be an expert on the guideline. If you smell a rat, there might be a rat around. So there's no point doing silly things if you are in a world of discipline, of policy and compliance, because you have to really survive. especially if you're a small man or woman, which many YouTube content creators are at the moment. And my prediction, therefore, going forward, I think there will be a streamlining, also a strategic approach, which is really more political, express as policy to actually manage the platform. That is what happens normally, naturally, in any organization. If when it grows, some people lose out. I mean, as YouTube grows, as a content functionary, it will naturally, other people will drop out, because that's the nature of the system. YouTube operates within a system of economy, a system of politics. The smaller you are in life, if you go to a big space, you're going to be dropped out. So these screening mechanisms are there to clean up the system so that it operates more efficiently, because it's attracting so many people. The people who are with money coming to participate on this channel, and if the place is messy, people who are lacking in skills in terms of understanding systems or compliance, people who are not highly trained, people who are not well resourced to produce quality material which are actually, say for example, advertiser friendly in contenting, and the guidelines being there, master the guideline. You never know, because I haven't actually seen the guideline yet. I'm just reading between the line. Leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts. And I find this exercise to be very good. And thank you so much, everybody who have been a part of this economy. Stay tuned, continue watching. So we are. So going forward, still looking at the YouTube reward and how YouTube does it rewarding, and if you're a content creator, then you know that this is really important in terms of reward, which is a continuation of where we left in our posing. Therefore, you see, you so if you are not advertiser friendly content creator, then you read the guidelines, advertiser friendly content guidelines, so that you become a master of advertiser friendliness, if you like. So if a creator has turned on advertisement monetization for a video, but our reviewers and automated system determine that the video does not comply with other advertiser-friendly content guidelines, the video will have limited or no ad appears against it. The video will not have advertising appear against it, which means that they won't be able to make money on that video. And we may also suspend a creator's channel from the YPP for severe or repeated violations of our YouTube monetization policy. You talk about monetization policy, if violating, you can be demonetized. That is what they're talking about, demonetization. So all these are actually happening, which is something we do well to pay attention. We're taking responsibility for our number. Responsibility is our number one focus, and everything we do seen through that lens. So the downsides, both from a user and a business perspective, drastically outweigh all considerations. So here we are talking about looking at this. So other resources you can find with YouTube. You can also learn about the efforts that support YouTube's reward principle. You learn about efforts that support YouTube's reward principle. I think that is a type of information you can read further. So you can also learn more about YouTube partner program eligibility. And this is advisable. So this is our links. These are resources relating to reward. You can learn more about our YouTube channel monetization policy. So you talk about YouTube channel monetization policy, YouTube partner program eligibility. So you talk about review advertiser-friendly content guidelines, like I said previously up there. And let us see, we are stopping here, and we are been looking at we can look at related articles like spending up to 8 fighting misinformation community guidelines. These are something we will continue talking about. Just stopping here, and I'm so grateful that you came today, and we looked at this rather interesting pieces of information about YouTube commitment in terms of managing harmful content. And I think what we've been looking for at is managing harmful content. So YouTube commitment, we have been looking at managing harmful content, and by way of removal, reduction, raising authoritative sources, and rewarding the system of reward. These are all about managing harmful content. All these 4 elements are about managing harmful content is part of YouTube commitment, and which is other YouTube commitments is just one aspect of YouTube commitments. So other aspect of YouTube commitment, like we said before, is standing up to 8, fighting misinformation, curbing extremist content, so supporting political integrity, partnering with researchers, preventing bias, the youth principles, fostering youth safety, protecting our data, user data, safeguarding copyright, and youth principles, and also sharing revenue, promoting digital well-being, responsible artificial intelligence. These are topics relating to YouTube commitment in terms of policy and practices, which is a lot of material. Apart from YouTube commitment, you also have product features, which include things like YouTube search, recommended videos. We talk about recommended videos because if you are recommended, then you are favored by YouTube. If you are not recommended, then you are not favored. So they recommend content that they think you will want to watch. So YouTube, I help you to think. because you think, so they also think what you might want to watch. They kind of like support your thinking mechanism. I mean, they work like psychics who may or may not know what you are thinking. If they think, this is science, it's not. Maybe it is magic also. If you can't believe it, you think this is a magic process, but I think there is a level of scientific. There's a form of systematization, because if you are for YouTube to recommend a video, and they will let you know how they recommend content that they think you will want to watch. If YouTube think you want to watch content another, they think you want to watch it. You don't need to tell them, because you tell them in some way, obviously, because of your maybe behavior, the way what you do, what you click, what you don't click. They predict using certain mode of operations, which hopefully will have opportunity to look into looking at news and information. The news information, they provide context for your search results and videos. Talk about context. Leave a comment below if you know anything about context. Providing context for your search results and videos. So if you search something, then YouTube actually, what you search on YouTube is video, because the only thing available is video. That's what video YouTube does for sharing video. YouTube is for sharing videos. What you search is actually your videos. So search result and the video you search provide context to your activity. So looking at news and information also providing context for your else queries. These are really really interesting lifestyle. You talk about monetization for creators. These are actually product features of YouTube, monetization features. Our creators earn money on YouTube. So we talk about YouTube earning money. So you are also talking about product features. So these are something you can play around with. You look at. You have to familiarize yourself with all this information so that you begin to immerse yourself within YouTube system. So you talk about YouTube Live. These are product features. So how you can reach your community in real time with live and premieres. So you talk about live streaming and premieres. If you are a YouTube user, you will be aware. If you are content creator, you will also be aware. So these are lives. These are product features of YouTube. So after that, you have apart from commitment, which we have looked at, apart from product features, you have user settings. How YouTube set up. These are all information which you should be aware and also proficient in approaching them. Privacy controls, user settings in relation to privacy control, how YouTube protect your information and what you can do to control your privacy. There are things you can do to control your privacy. Advertising. How YouTube advertising works and how to customize your advertising experience. It's something called advertising experience. Leave a comment below if you know what advertising experience is. So that is the kind of thing in relation to user settings. User settings is something you set with and while using the infrastructure. So parental controls are another user settings. Another user setting component. So parental control, how you can create a family-friendly experience. Remember, advertiser-friendly components, but this is actually family-friendly, which is nice. and is something family friendly, can really be attractive to family. Per se, autoplay is also another user setting. How autoplay works and how to turn it off. So these are our product settings. Then you have rules and policies, and we talk about policy review, overview, and how policy, our YouTube policy, our YouTube rules and policy help keep the community safe. We have talked about that also in relation to YouTube commitment. But this is now specifically policy overview, how it looks like, how the rules and policy help keep YouTube platform safe. Talk about safety necessarily, and in terms of rules and policy, in terms of policy overview. So you talk also in relation to community guidelines, which we touch on when we talk about YouTube commitment. In my opinion, if you're a content creator, also a user, community guidelines are really critical. YouTube define what they do and what they don't allow on YouTube. And if you are functioning on YouTube, there are things you are allowed to do, there are things you are not allowed to do. These are really at the heart of policy, rules, and compliance. Talk about rules and policies still, talk about copyright, and a lot of people, content creators, are so aware of copyright. If you how YouTube help creators responsibly manage their content. If you have a content, how you manage your content, if you use one thing or another, make sure it's copyright compliant. So we talk about rules and policy again, as these are copyright is one of the functions of the rules and policy of YouTube. So monetization policies as such, our creators can monetize their content as part of the YouTube partner program. It is as if we are repeating what we are, because these are actually specifics about rules and policies. You can compare with what we just showed about YouTube commitments. And therefore, we are also looking at legal removals. How YouTube approach content that violates local law. Leave a comment below if you know anything about local law. I am not sure what local laws are, but I say where you are, where the law in relation to state laws. That's what they're talking about. I think that is what they're talking about. Leave a comment below if you know what they're talking about. I think in terms of the government, then the laws they create in parliament or in other institution of law creation, which operate maybe nationally or locally. And I don't know the meaning of locality in this under this context. It could be within a country, within local authority, or within in terms of globalization. Local laws may relate to countries, sovereignty, sovereign-based law, like in America, Europe. It's a continent, but also in countries in Europe, like Britain, maybe France. These are also, in terms of the global outlook, in terms of the globe, these are actually referred to as local systems. So in terms of law, we could be talking about nation-state laws around the world where YouTube functions. It could be also laws which relate to in a country in terms of local authorities governing local system. But I think it's to do with global system of law operation and also setup, and whichever it is, only time will tell. If you are trying to understand what they talk about, we talk about rules and policy or one sort or another, and I think we are doing quite well. We'll talk about progress and impact. So we'll talk about progress on managing harmful content. So we talk about harmful content again. I think this is a really important aspect of YouTubing, because they talk about it a lot. Harmful content is something really we should pay attention. So YouTube are enforcing their policies on harmful content by the numbers. We talk about statistics, the numbers. We talk about quantitative formulation, quantitative management, as trying to understand what the facts and figures would look like in terms of research, in terms of enforcement. Talk about enforcement, you talk about statistical information or reviews in relation to progress and impact. We talk about management, what progress YouTube is making in relation to managing harmful content, and therefore you talk about enforcing policies on harmful content by the numbers. You talk about statistics, like I said, in terms of progress and impact, and we talk about YouTubing impacting on society, individuals, or whoever may be involved. So we talk about creative entrepreneurs who are transforming their lives and communities. So you're looking at the impact, you're focusing on the entrepreneurship. You talk about, you're looking at our entrepreneurship, creative entrepreneurs are transforming their lives and their communities. And your content creators, artists, and also professional people producing news, doing businesses. If you're selling something online, and I think entrepreneurship, creative entrepreneurship, we should talk about the creative economy. Maybe musician, artists, content creators. These are entrepreneurs in the eyes of YouTube. In terms of progress and impact, you look at how YouTube is impacting communities, how YouTube is compacting society, with specific reference to creative entrepreneurship, and they they are transformative in relation to lives, their lives and the lives of the community. So the transformative effect is to life, and also their own life and the life of the community. These are really functions of the different elements in terms of YouTube infrastructure, the estate of YouTube. And thank you so much for coming today, and stay tuned for next time. If you haven't subscribed so far, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and click like, click notification bell, leave a fantastic and wonderful comment, and also watching this video, share with family and friends. Thank you so much. See you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye. So going forward,